Welcome back to Fast Market here on the TD Ameritrade Network. Let's bring in our next guest for our cash tag segment, and that's going to be Landon Swan, co-founder at Lightfolio. Welcome back to the show, Landon.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right, so we're talking fintech. We're talking Block or Square, the former Square, ticker symbol SQ. This stock is basically flat on the year, Landon. Seems like it's been dead in the water for a bit, but a lot of these stocks have in this space. What kind of data do you guys have at a Lightfolio? Because it doesn't seem like it's beneficial to any investors at this point.
No, it's not. I mean, the NASDAQ is up about 28% this year. And, you know, this is a tech stock. And it's like you said, it's basically flat, very disappointing for investors. And they're, you know, they went through the rebrand. I still think of them as Square until they change their ticker symbol. You know, really, they're Square in my mind. They got to change it to BLCK or something. But, you know, they're competing against PayPal and Venmo. They're competing against Zelle. They bought the Afterpay company, the buy now, pay later company. They've got these other projects, Weebly, which is a web host, and Tidal, which is streaming music. And just generally speaking, really the only successful part of their business, the only one that's actually showing growth is Cash App. So when you look at all of their different properties, you can see the Cash App is up slightly. I think it's up about 3% on a year-over-year basis when it comes to mentions, whereas Venmo is up about 5% on a year-over-year basis. So, you know, Cash App is leading the way among its brands, and some of the others are really falling behind. Even Square, which is the one, you know, that's a big one. It should be doing better. It's down about 14% on a year-over-year basis. So Cash App is kind of the only thing they can talk about when it comes to success. You know, they claim that they've got about 53 million monthly transaction activities as of March 30th, which is up 17% on a year-over-year basis. I know that there's some skepticism in the reporting of that, and you know, you don't want to hear that, obviously, but that is the case, that maybe those numbers aren't completely accurate. I'm not sure how they measure. I'm not making any accusations, but I've heard that. And I think that's a sticking point for some investors. The other thing is, you know, Cash App, generally speaking, has lower income users. And if we go into a recession, you're going to have those users are going to be less active, and it's going to be harder to attract. So that's another potential problem. But just looking overall at sort of the trends that are backing all of this, right? So you're talking about people buying cryptocurrencies, people interested in digital wallets, e-commerce, even buy now, pay later. If you want to talk about their new acquisition, Afterpay, crypto and digital wallets are up. That's sort of, you know, their strong suit here, which is why I think Cash App is leading the way. E-commerce down, so Square's down. Buy now, pay later's down, so Afterpay's down. But you know, when you look at trading crypto on Cash App, you can buy Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash. On Venmo, you can buy those too, plus you can buy Ethereum and Litecoin. So Venmo has a little bit broader offering. The happiness of the two companies, or the two apps, are basically identical, but Venmo is actually growing a little bit faster. And right now, when you look at the total market share of Cash App versus Venmo, Venmo's sitting right at about 55%, Cash App's at about 45%. So Venmo's winning and expanding their lead. We actually went bearish on Square or Block back in April. Officially bearish. We sent out a notice to our hedge fund clients that we just don't love the trajectory of this company. So, you know, everything that we've got is kind of ho-hum at best, you know, but a little bit pessimistic at worst, depending on what you're looking at. So, you know, while I do, you know, in general, like the company, I don't like how they're handling competition. I think that Venmo is starting to really do well against them. Even Zelle is starting to catch up somewhat. So Cash App is pretty much all they've got to hang their hat on right now, and it's falling behind the competition. So I don't love the company where it's at right now.
You know, Landon, this Hindenburg research piece that came out about Cash App and their inadequate safety controls on this, it was a death blow to this, and they're trying to get back up. They came out with some rebuttals and they put up some good numbers, but the trust factor is a little bit low. And I think the competition, remember, I think this is a wonderful company when it comes to the Square ecosystem for merchants. I think they do an incredible job. You see them in small businesses all over, but the Cash App is where it was such a great high profile tool when it came out, but boy, its reputation is just sliding. And I'll throw in one thing. how about the Apple Card and Apple Pay and the Apple Wallet that's on your iPhone? That is a big competition for not only Venmo, but Cash App as well. And I'm a dinosaur. I'm 100 years old, and I use the Apple Wallet and Apple Pay for some things. So I think there's real competition out there that hurts this company, and like bad news all around it is just one more thing. This stock is heavy, Landon.
It is very heavy. And, you guys were just talking about Uber and how it doesn't have any assets. Similar here. I mean, this is a technology play. And the thing about technology companies is they can rise and grow extremely quickly if they are the leader and if they've got fantastic technology. But the opposite is true. If a competitor comes out who's very strong and has a better technological platform, it can take away market share from a company extremely quickly. It goes both ways. It cuts both ways. So that's a danger. And I think that investors are aware of that, and they're just getting a little skittish. You look at the NASDAQ, like I said, up 28% on the year, and a technology company in there is flat. That's just frustrating, and you're going to start looking for other places to put your money. And frankly, I think there's a lot of better places to have your money, because not only is the company just not performing that well, even though I agree, I love the Square platform. I even like Cash App. But that's not what I'm saying. The key is, though, the competition is coming after them, and it's not just PayPal with Venmo, but like you said, there are others like Apple. You can name 3 or 4 companies you don't want to compete with. Apple's on that list. So yeah, that, and plus you've got Coinbase if you talk about buying cryptocurrency. So everything they do, someone else is doing a little bit better, and in technology, you've got to be best. You can't be second or third, and they're dropping.
Yeah, when you look at the happiness levels, it sounds like you're more tilted towards Venmo, maybe the PayPal side here. But Landon, do you guys have anything about like maybe the CEO, Jack Dorsey? It seems like he can build a good company, but then it just seems to kind of deteriorate. We saw that with Twitter, and it just doesn't seem like I hear about Cash App as much as I used to, and maybe that has that maybe CEO label on it, that maybe he's just doesn't know how to extend building that great company out.
Yeah, I think that's possible. I mean, that's what it looks like from the outside, right? I mean, I don't know him. I've seen obviously his work with Twitter, fantastic job. And if you think of it like a car, it's got 5 gears, gears 1 through 4, fantastic. And the 5th gear, you kind of drift away a little bit. I think the same kind of thing here is happening, where he's amazing at the first, 80, 85%. And then when it gets to that top level, I don't know, maybe he loses interest, or maybe he's just not executing as well. I don't want to, get into personal stuff, because I think he's done a fantastic job. But yeah, I agree that he doesn't have the reputation that some other CEOs have of just flooring it and taking it all the way. So there's definitely the concern there. And after seeing what happened with Twitter and the changes after Musk took over, it's like, well, maybe Square could do better under different leadership. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's definitely a concern.
Yeah, I think so. 30 million monthly Cash App users last quarter. So, they've got their, they're in the game.
You made a point. There's a theory out there. There's people that have unbelievable ideas, but they lack in that day-to-day discipline of operations.
Execution.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. We all know people like that. They come up with these great ideas, but they lack in that ability to bang out and grind the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, you wonder if he gets a little bit tired on that.
Yeah.
All right, Landon, great data as always. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
All right, that's Landon Swan, co-founder